we're going to read about you now.
Oh, okay.
Sarah's artistic foundation began at Wittenberg University in Ohio and the School of Visual Arts in New York City. For the past 25 years, Sarah has been a graphic designer, but has always had a passion for the fine arts. After years of painting watercolors, she discovered pastels and fell in love. Didn't you?
I did. Watercolors were hard.
A New Jersey native, Sarah's sense of adventure led her to settle in Alaska, Nevada, and Santiago, Chile. For the past 20 years, she and her family have called Colorado home.
Thanks.
Sarah is a Pastel Society of America signature pastelist, Pastel Society of New Mexico signature member, an IAPS Master Circle Pastelist, and there's more, a Master Signature member of Pastel Society of Colorado. Her paintings have appeared in shows and exhibitions throughout the United States. Says Sarah, and I'm going to talk for you now.
Oh, good.
My biggest treat as a child was a fresh box of crayons. Life just did not get any better. The colors, the sharp tips, that waxy smell. I've graduated from my crayons to soft pastels, but I'm still thrilled by the array of colors and the possibilities they present. Their intense, pure pigment allows for an immediacy and versatility in my artwork. Inspired by the beauty of nature, my paintings are impressionist landscapes where my goal is to distill the essence of a moment. Painting in plein air allows me total immersion into the environment where I can feel a deep appreciation of nature's ephemeral light and the true unfiltered color of the landscape. My studio work is a direct extension of my passion for the outdoors. I work from both studies done and plein air and personal photographs. Does life get any better than time in nature with a box of pastels? I think not. Sarah St.
Wow.
George.
Thank you. Thank you, Christine. Wow. Thank you guys for coming. I am not a teacher, so this is very new to me. So I'm expecting you guys to be patient and tolerant with me. But I'll try and answer all your questions. And if I can't, there's a lot of really smart people in here. Just, help me answer them. So anyway, I was born in New Jersey, and I spent my summers at the Jersey Shore. And you could not get me out of the water. I was a kid who was always flirting with hypothermia. My mom would drag me out, my lips would be purple. So I've always been passionate about water. And as an adult, I am passionate about painting water. So I'm gonna hopefully teach you guys about water today. Who is afraid of painting water or intimidated? Well, I hear from a lot of artists that they're intimidated by water. And it gets in your head. I mean, it's transparent, it's opaque, it's moving, it's still. I mean, it has a lot of attributes to it. So, what's that?
It's ADD.
Yeah, it is. It is. And when you're painting on the coast, the tide is coming in and out too. So you can throw that in too. But anyway, hopefully today I'll give you guys some tips that you guys will be able to approach water a little easier. So I moved 25 years ago, like Christine said, to Colorado. And obviously there's no oceans here. So I focus on rivers and lakes, as you can see. So today I'm going to talk about 6 principles of water. They're kind of rules of thumb, and they're just a practical guideline. Of course, you can always find exceptions and things, but hopefully this will make it a little simpler to think about. I've got a handout, if you guys want to pass this around. Thank you, David. So I'm going to start at flat and level water. So water, where it meets the horizon or touches a bank, needs to be level. I watched a Karen McGoulis water demo, and she takes a glass of water and she holds it up, and she tilts it to the right, she tilts it to the left, and the water remains level. This is nature, so it's real important to get that horizon line flat and straight. I go to Maine every summer, and for the first couple of years, I'm painting and my horizon line is going up and it's going down. So I finally got myself a T-square and I put it on the edge of my paper and I draw my straight line because I could not get that horizon line together. So another way to show flat water is to use strong horizontal flat lines. I'm just trying to think, maybe over in some of those you can kind of see, especially this one, I mean, basically it's all just horizontal lines, making that water look like it lays flat and in the environment. Waterways. So I am talking, you guys, about rivers or marshes. So you really want to use sharp and angular lines to indicate rather than rounded corners. So in this painting, you know this is a round bend, but look how straight these lines are. So this also applies to roadways. I don't know if you guys have ever done roadways. Rounded, big rounded curves, it's gonna make it look like your water's going uphill. So really important to use sort of angular lines to show those. I heard someone go, huh, is there a question?
No, but it's almost like you're creating ellipses rather, or flatter ellipses.
Yeah. I use pretty straight angular lines. I mean, there really isn't a lot of curve in that. So it'll really make your water or your roadway lay flat, which is so important in your landscapes.
So you're talking about as the water moves around?
Like right here, Bruce, like you can see that this is maybe a bend in the river.
Yeah.
That's not gonna be sharp, that's gonna be a rounded bend.
Oh, okay.
If you're
But to
looking down-
portray it, I use really sharp angular lines. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And roadways are the same. You're painting a road, don't use big curves. Use sharper, angular lines. So avoid curved lines unless you're painting ripples or waves. Just kind of avoid them. Okay, number 2, reflections. And mainly in this one, I'm talking about sort of a glassy, mirror-like reflection, okay? This will apply to mainly that kind of water scene. Reflections change the color of the water. I mean, that seems kind of basic, but blue sky, blue reflection. Rules of opposite. This is a good one. Darker objects reflect lighter in the water, and lighter objects reflect darker. Does that make sense? I know, and I am a little bit. So think dark trees. They're gonna reflect lighter in your water. Sky, I haven't finished this, hopefully I'll finish it today, will reflect darker. And I'm talking almost a value or 2 darker. So that's just a really good rule of thumb. Any questions? I feel like I'm kind of racing through these.
Do you have any more than your models?
Oh, are we out?
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. I mean. So this applies again to still water. Reflection should align directly below the object they are mirroring. Again, this is probably the most obvious one. Trees, lighter trees, just starting to get into the mountains here. So,
So, do you measure that the same amount is above the horizon of the line and below, or?
Sorry, I guess I don't. Think of it, you're painting 2 paintings. You're painting the top, and then you're painting the mirror.
So it's kind of a mirror image, but so the distance from the horizon line up and down should be the same.
Depends on your angle of where you're looking at it.
That's what I wanted.
Sorry, I wish it was like, yep, every time, but no, it just depends on where you're at looking at the environment. Okay, objects reflecting in the water will angle the reverse of above. I know that's complicated. Easy mistake. So I wish I had a stronger. Trees. You're not going to go this way with your tree. you're gonna angle it because it's a mirror, right? It's a really easy mistake, but it's pretty obvious when you do it wrong, so. All right. Darker images reflect lighter, so trees should be, if they're dark pine trees, they're gonna be lighter in the reflection.
Okay.
Your lighter images, I think trees and I think sky, because those are just really obvious to me. A sky will reflect darker, a lighter image, your sky. Does that make sense?
I'm getting.
Does that, it's a hard one, but it's a really, really good one for visually making it work correctly. Okay, the mirror you're seeing, you know, it's just gonna be the angle of the reflection. Does that help?
Yeah, you're,
Yeah?
you're
So if
talking
it's
about
straight-
the whole image, right?
What's that?
You're talking about the whole image, not the strokes.
I'm talking about like a tree trunk or something, yeah,
But you're
yeah.
not talking about specific strokes.
No.
So let's say you have
Oh.
a building and, you know, it's angular. So that's straight, so when reflection, you're gonna angle it.
Are you talking about like a house roof or something like that where it's angled?
Or a cabin or something, the beak.
So, I was gonna talk about this later, but this is my favorite painting, I'll talk about him.
So it's all,
Building. Can you see that?
because they're straight.
They're straight.
Straight, they go straight.
They're straight. I'm talking about something that's angled. A tree, a roof line would be the reverse. Okay?
Okay.
Sorry, I'm throwing a lot at you guys, so slow me down if it doesn't make sense.
So if I'm correct, if
Oh.
if this wasn't ripply water, you'd have a better chance of seeing that this beak comes down, but it comes
Yep.
up here.
Perfect, Edie. Exactly.
I got it.
Good. Okay. This is good. I'm glad you guys are asking questions. Okay, a reflected image will get softer and degrade as it moves away from the horizon it's reflecting. So, horizon, and you can see that this shadow is degrading and breaking up. Okay?
Softer edges, lost edges, like.
And often breaking the reflection itself, having some water, so, you know, lines come across. Okay, everybody good with reflection? That's a hard one.
If there's a test, I'm in trouble.
Yeah. I can talk to you later. Okay, transparency. And honestly, I think this is something that really attracts me to painting water. I think it's really cool to see, you know, you sort of get like secrets revealed looking through the water. I just really love that. Let me take a sip of water, my mouth's been dry. So, think of transparency as layers. I think this is a good way to kind of break it up. You have your bottom layer, your riverbed, your rocks, your mud, your sand, whatever that bottom of the water is. Your middle layer is going to be at the reflection, the ripples, you know, if the wind is hitting the water, or, you know, sparkles, you know, glare off the water, things like that. So for me, I think it's an easy way to sort of break up transparency and thinking about how it's different layers. Shadows often can make the water transparent as there's very little reflection of the sky because it's coming over the water. You're not getting reflection of the sky bouncing off the water. So if you see a tree on the edge of the water, see if there's a shadow coming across. I don't know if I have any examples of that. Doesn't look like it. Okay, refraction, another toughie. Refraction are objects bend when they hit the water. So for me to think about this, I think about a log entering the water, like it's half submerged in the water. So it's not going to be a straight line. And anyone who's a scientist and can explain refraction, just jump in here. But the water will bend the shape of the log. It will change. Does that kind of make sense? I mean, I think thinking about a log is the way to do it, half submerged, it shifts as it hits, as it goes under the water.
It's because the density of the water is greater, so your
Go, Joanne, please, stand up.
will change.
Yeah, yeah, the light going through it will change, yeah.
Like going through a prism or something like that.
Yeah, that's a good way to think of it too, like going through a prism, yeah, yeah.
You can test that with a vase, a clear water, clear vase, the stem.
Yeah,
And then
that's-
just set it, and then you'll see how above the water, the stem, and then
It
the
shifts.
bottom, it shifts.
exactly. That's a good thing to think of too, when you're painting your still life of a bouquet or something, to know that that water, that stem is not gonna be straight. Once it hits that water, it's gonna bend. I had to do a really stupid, art project when I was in school. I don't know if anyone else had to do the glass of water with an egg and a spoon in it. Did you have to do that? It was horrible. It was so tedious. But it made you think about how that was, the refraction happened with the objects, so, yeah. Okay, let's see, I think we're getting through it. Okay, color of water. Wow, we're all taught that water's blue. It's not. I mean, it really, if you look at all my paintings, there's very little blue in it. It really, color is rarely blue, but reflects the colors above, adjacent, and below. And I think we all just say, water, it's gonna be blue. But the reality is you have to really look at your environment and see what colors are around it, and those will usually be in your water. I mean, all of these are, you know, I don't see much blue. Do you guys? Maybe a little in here, or the sky reflecting. You get some blue. Okay, I'm lying, here's some more blue, but I think you do have to be aware just of your environment when you're painting water, what's actually around it, what's happening. Let's see, where am I? Look for shifts of value and colors. That will really help your painting. Look at your image, or if you're plein air painting, look for those channels of water or where things have changed. For instance, in this painting, really what attracted me to it was the channel going through here, you know, and that change and that contrast those change of colors made. For me, that's your visual line of going through the painting. Let's see. Values will change from front to back. So normally a body of water, especially if you're talking an ocean or a big lake, you'll get a value change from where you're standing looking at it to the distance. I'm kind of a mid-range painter. I tend to paint relatively close, so it doesn't come in much as in play as it does in like an ocean scene or something like that. Okay, and shadows will change the color and value of submerged objects. So your rocks, they're gonna be different than, here's the rocks on the surface, here's the rocks underneath. So you're not gonna use the same pastel under the water. Okay, any questions, shadows?
The rocks was pretty big for me to hear. Just the reminder about the rocks in the water and out of the water.
Yeah, good, good. Okay, movement. So making movement in water. I use shorter broken lines of color on the surface to create the movement. This is probably the best example. They're all probably pretty short little movements in here where we're going through sort of the channel. You can see that when I come up afterwards, you can see they're pretty short changes of color to make that look like it's actually moving. In rivers, I guess I already said this, look for channels of water. That'd be the change of color will be deeper color. Movements are often indicated by lines of disturbance. So what do I mean by lines of disturbance? That's our next section, so I'm gonna move on. Highlights and lines of disturbance. Lines of disturbance are white water, foam, ripples, waves, those indications of motion. I call those lines of disturbance. I don't know if anyone watches or follows Clint has light seams, which I kind of love. And he says light seams are horizontal bands of lighter value at the edges of land or rock. So little broken colors where the water is hitting a rock or your shoreline, and that really helps to indicate water, the sparklies. And create sparkles or glare spots, use higher contrast, lighter values, light white, light blue, light yellow, to create those lines of disturbance. And lines will get thinner and closer together as they vanish into the distance. Again, I'm not sure I have an example of that, but, well, probably in the Pelican. Certainly, these are wider apart than they are in the background. And this, to me, lines of disturbance and glare, that's like the candy. That is sort of the last thing you do. It's sort of like dessert after painting everything else. You have these beautiful light whites that you can put on. And putting them on last, they keep them clean. Your other pastels aren't contaminating them. So, okay, I think that's the principle. That was a lot. I don't know if you have any questions about any of them, or, no. Good. Okay, oil painter, beautiful water. Again, someone kind of worth looking up if you're really interested in water. He does everything else too. I think probably everyone has this book. And if you don't, and you're interested in skies and water, this is a great one. Oh, this is a great one. Send that to Liz, will you? Send promoting your book.
Could you show it over here?
Sure. I think I have it on the handout too.
Yeah.
Oh, Liz? I think she's on one of the, not,
She's on
Patreon.
Patreon.
Is it- I-
She's on, is it Affinity?
That's what it is,
Affinity?
Affinity, yeah.
Yeah.
I think it was our-
Yeah. If you look, there's a free demo that she did
I'll pass it around.
somewhere that's where she's doing a water one.
Her water's fabulous. Yeah, yeah, she really is a great.
I don't have it.
Okay,
I got one question about shadows. With that third painting over, the
Yeah.
water's looking super dark, and I noticed that in person too. What do you have to say about that when it just seems like the reflections or the water's darker than the trees and just really, really shadowy spots?
well, obviously, this one was done plein air in Connecticut. Sorry, I moved away from the camera, but, and I probably should have made this lighter, following my rules, which I didn't. But like I said earlier, not all rules apply 100% of the time. That's what I was seeing. And if that's what you're seeing when you're out painting plein air, photographs are a different thing, because they'll go to black, or they'll go darker than they actually are. But this was actually plein air, and that's kind of what I saw. So,
Okay.
It's the sun being blocked, it's the literal shading
it's,
that's
and
causing.
it's, yeah, you're right, yeah. So, okay, anything else? So I have two paintings, and I don't know which one you guys want me to start on. This is Jefferson Lake. I started, and I'm like, oh, why don't I just save the rest of this for class? And then I have, this is a river painting, or a river painting. I just started with the underpainting. You guys have a preference? This one? This one? Do you guys want to take a break before I start painting? Is that, or not?
If you need a break, we can, but otherwise, just keep going.
Just, oh, okay, all right.
Yeah?
Let's see, substrate, because I know this is a question. Oh, I had a little, let me see if I can find it, sorry.
So we can take a quick break at noon if you want,
Oh,
or you don't want a break once you're painting.
I don't care, it doesn't matter.
Well, it's only,
11:30?
11:30 now, we have until 12:30 till 1, you know, so.
Substrate, because I know someone will ask. So I did a little mock-up. UART 500, I've tried them all. I've tried 3, I've tried 6, I've tried 8. I just fall into 5. This is what I like. 4 is too gritty, 3 is too gritty, 6 and 8 are just too fine.
How much gritty?
I use 500, UART 500.
Okay.
Have you ever used UART?
I've used different things, right, I've used heavy sandpaper or else almost smooth, so.
So UART comes in different frits, and this one is 500, and that's, I'll
Okay.
pass it around.
Thank you.
So I mounted with Do-Attack, which is a double-sided adhesive. I think photographers, I think that's what it was originally made for, on gator board.
In the most recent Pastel Journal, there's an ad for UART. They're now selling paper with adhesive on the back that you can apply.
I saw that, I thought, how nice will that be? But I do have to do a shout out. Dennis Rhodes taught me this when I first started doing pastels. Rest in peace. I don't know who knows Dennis in this class, but he'll be sorely missed in this community. So that's my substrate. I like a hard surface.
Spell the tape.
Excuse me? Do-Attack? It's colorated Do-Attack. I used to be able to get it at my university, and they stopped carrying it. So, you know,
Was it a sheet mounting it on?
a gator board?
On there.
So it's really firm. I find foam board is just too soft. So, pastels, I wish I could tilt my box, but I'm not going to. Terry, wow, it's almost all Terry Ludwig. Love his work, love his colors, love his darks. He has beautiful darks. Some Sennelier, I use some Girault, and I consider those my hard soft. I don't have any with me today. I also, if I use a pencil, Hard Nash, these are really nice. If anyone has the secrets on how to sharpen these well, please let me know, because
I do, actually.
Hard Nash,
I
do
have-
you?
I have a pencil sharpener at home that will do it as long as you go very slowly. I think it's Merit is the brand.
Will you send it to me?
Yeah,
Because
well-
I've spent a lot of money
Yeah.
on it. Okay,
It'll eat the pencils, but it does sharpen them as long as you do it crank it very slowly.
okay. I don't know how many pencils I've eaten through
Yeah.
just by it going down or breaking. It
Yeah.
breaks often. Do wear gloves, and I do it because I think it keeps my pastels cleaner. I find if I just using my hand, the dust just sticks a little bit more. So I use a glove. Okay, so we're gonna do this guy. I did an underpainting. I don't know where to stand. Did an underpainting. I sometimes get frustrated. I can't get my underpaintings dark enough. If you guys can see my photo, I really want this back here to be dark and recede. So I'm gonna go with some darker, almost black colors back there. I tend to work, I don't think this is right, but this is how I work. I tend to kind of work from top to bottom or side to side. Or if I have something in the subject that's challenging me, I'll often paint that first. And I'm not sure that's right. I think a lot of people like to paint kind of all over to get their color and their values. This is what I do, and that's just how I work. So anyway, so I'm gonna start up here in the background. I wanna make that recede a little bit more, so,
Was your underpainting done with pastels and alcohol?
it was, and I used to do watercolors, and I love still using watercolors, but it's just another thing for me to carry if I'm doing plein air painting, you know, so I've just gone to a little bottle. This is literally my plein air set. I carry a little bottle of alcohol, a little container, and some brushes. And I'm not carrying the watercolors. And a water, you know, the water for the watercolors. So,
What's in that container?
vodka. This?
Yeah, no, other one, the
Oh.
flat one, the squat one.
This one,
Yeah.
actually, that's my sharpener.
Oh, yeah,
This
okay.
is my, I just grabbed the wrong bottle.
Okay,
This is what I
thought
use
it
for
somehow
alcohol.
tied in with alcohol.
Yeah, sorry, no, no.
She already drank, yeah.
Yeah, it's fine.
Yeah, that was before I came, I was like, oh no. I don't know how well I can paint and talk, so be patient. I'll just get going here. And I'm gonna try and go to my darker values first.
Do you work from a thumbnail to begin with?
Ooh, another thing I'm really bad at. Especially if I'm plein air painting, I want to get painting. I know that's really bad because I think value studies are really helpful, but I'm like, this is changing right now. I don't want to sit and do a little drawing, but I do think they're super helpful if that's what you do. Yeah, I'm impatient, I guess.
Probably helps if you're a beginner too.
I'm sorry, say that?
Probably helps if you're a beginner planner as well.
I think it's great. I mean, it gives you, you're setting up your layout and, I'm sure it's a good thing. I just don't do it.
It becomes intuitive.
So I'm sort of trying to stay in the same value families back here in sort of the background.
Where was the photo taken?
This is Cheeseman Canyon, so the South Platte. I was just talking to Dennis, I don't know where he went, he left. No. I end up spending a lot of time with fly fishermen because they're always painting in beautiful spots.
Sure, when you're home in your studio, do you have music on?
Always, always, always. I find it really relaxing and kind of gets me out of my own head. You know, I kind of start singing and then I'm not overthinking what I'm doing. So do you guys paint water? Are there any like water painters in here? Yeah, I would, of course you do. Yeah. Do you want to come up and do my rocks for me? No? Okay. Darn it. Darn it. Oh, darn.
Sarah, you may have said before, but is your underpainting watercolor or just?
It's alcohol with pastels. And it's just easier for me. It's one less thing. I don't carry my watercolor. I have done watercolors. And Jeanette, you do everything, the acrylics and all sorts, but I'm sort of just pastels and alcohol. So you can see I left these big areas with nothing in them. And in the photo, these are my lines of disturbance or lines of movement, and I wanted to keep those really fresh. Like painting snow. In this area, I didn't have any underpainting because I wanted that to be really, really bright. Come in, this to recede, I want this to recede back by the horizon. I used a ruler to put my horizon line in, just so you know.
Is that a black or is that a
Dark brown.
I'm sorry?
Dark brown?
Dark brown, okay.
Yeah, it looks black, but it's
Yeah.
actually got some color in it. I really don't use a lot of black. Terry's darks are so luscious. Trying to stay with my cooler colors in the background and then move into my waters in the foreground. This is a Liz Haywood-Sullivan trick I learned a long time ago. As I use my pastels, I take them out, put them in a box. Great thing if you're plein air painting and it starts to rain. You don't have to put all your things and back in your box, and then you get home and you have your palette fall together still. So, yeah, it's a great little
Sarah, do you
Okay.
do much finishing in the studio after
I
playing?
do, I do.
Mhm.
You know, I find plein air painting, you have what, maybe 2 hours?
Right.
Maybe before you're changed radically. And like I was saying earlier, I painted in Maine, and not only are you getting your light change, you're getting serious title changes. You're like, wait, that wasn't exposed.
Yeah.
So you gotta work really fast. I always take a photograph when I know what I'm gonna paint. Before I start painting, I take a photograph of it so I have that reference. So, yeah.
Yay.
Yay?
Yay.
Ooh, too light. Oh, you guys gotta talk more. It's making me nervous.
You're
We're
just,
watching.
you're
We're
all by
watching.
yourself beside that beautiful river.
Okay.
The birds are chirping.
Did you pull a palette of
No,
your
no, that was
pastels
really
first?
dumb. I'm thinking, why didn't I pull a palette before I did this?
Do you do that usually?
I do not, no, I do not.
Just
So I end up taking,
respond?
I take up a lot of pastel, put it back. Go, oh, that's not right. Like, I'm not really digging this green back here, but we'll figure it out.
Where did you get your Duracat?
I was getting it at Meininger's,
Yeah?
and they don't carry it anymore. So I think you have to go to, is it Color-Aid? I think Color-Aid's the company who manufactures it.
What was the question?
Where do I get my do-it tag?
Mine girl.
Which is the double-sided adhesive I use to mount my board.
You can use graphics double tap also, if you can't get that
Is
one.
that with an X?
Oh, yeah.
Used to be a couple managers.
There's a bunch of them.
I always hold a rag that I kind of wipe my pastel off on.
Much organized?
No, I'm not. I'm a really messy painter. I mean, if you see me out in the field, I've got just, I'm spread out all over the place. I'm not that organized.
So what kind of creatures have you encountered while you're out?
Oh,
painting?
good story. I got a commission for a friend who was turning 70, and she had a meadow that was her favorite view. And it was beautiful. It's all these iris blooming in this meadow with a shot of Mount Blue Sky in the background. And I painted and I was pretty pleased with what I did. Packed up, putting everything in my bag, put my backpack on my shoulder, and a big, I mean it was a big old black bear was walking up on me. Yeah. So I was thrilled, but terrified, and just slowly started walking back, and it didn't bother me. But I was really thrilled after, but kind of terrified during, because I was very remote. There wasn't anyone around that could help. I carry a whistle now, so.
You've encountered some snakes too.
I've had a lot of snakes, that's true. Rattlesnake in Tucson. You were with me, weren't we painting together? I was setting up my easel and I'm like stepping back and I hear.
Yeah.
He was a
You
big
saw two
snake.
down there.
We saw two, yeah. He was
And we
a
were
big old
painting in
rattlesnake.
Sabino Canyon, and Sarah went way up the river.
Oh,
to
yeah, I
paint,
didn't see
And I'm
this.
back this way. A mountain lion jumped across the river
I'm
in front of me. She didn't get to see it.
So jealous of that.
Yeah,
That's
Wow.
Yeah.
That is unusual.
yeah, they had a sign, but I didn't expect to see any.
Mountain lion crossing here.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was just a beige streak, and I'm not positive that's what it was, but I think it was.
No, I remember that.
Yeah.
That is quite thrilling.
Share with everyone now.
So I think in painting water too, there's a lot of gradation of color. You're getting a lot of the same color family, but just in different values. certainly like in here, I mean, you've got this light, you've got, you know, a light green, a darker green, you know, it sort of gradates down. Same up here when you're getting away from that center of movement right here. So I'm just trying to find those colors right now.
How do you do your line work to sketch it out? Is that
Oh,
just that pencil?
So I do grid sometimes, especially, we just took a workshop, Bruce, you were there too. So I'll grid out, I'll put lines across, and then if it's a photograph, there's a program that you can put the same grid on your photograph. I'll draw it out in pencil, and then I'll use a waxier, I don't know what it's called. I use this, and it doesn't erase or wash away if you do an underpainting, because a pencil will smear, right?
Right.
And this is pretty good. You might get a little smearing, but it works pretty well. You can just, is there enough on there, Jeanette, to get the?
Water soluble,
There you go.
water something.
It's Stadler, is that more? You got more on that?
Stadler. Yeah, Lumo color, non-permanent. Lumo color, Lumo color by Stadler, I don't know how you say it. Staedtler. We'll pass them around.
Yeah, just pass it around, Jeanette, that's fine.
There's two coming around different directions.
Anyway, so I'll do a pencil where I can make lots of mistakes, and then I'll go over it with the Stadler, my final lines. That's what all these are, and just take a gum eraser and just erase it. So I think it's really important for me to have a map. Like, I think it's really important to know where I'm going, you know, what's happening in the environment. So I like a pretty tight drawing. I really do.
Otherwise you'll have just water everywhere.
Exactly. Exactly.
Do you have any tips that you would like to give people about packing their gear for plein air to keep it portable?
Light. Yeah. Honestly, my box gets continually lighter. Or not my box. My box is still heavy.
Yeah.
This is my plein air box. But all my accoutrements get progressively lighter. This is sort of all the tools I use in the field. I have brushes for doing underpainting, or like, I don't like how that turned out. I make mistakes. I make a lot of mistakes. So sometimes I do brush stuff out. And I'm trying to think. This is another brush out, great brush out while we're on brush out. I don't know if you guys have used the sponge. If you need an area to go away, this works really, really nicely. And I never blow on my painting. Wait, I'm not getting much painting done, I'm sorry.
Oh, look at that. Oh, baby.
That
A booger ball.
works great. Because you can pinpoint it.
Show the camera.
Oh, sorry. Got it?
Yep.
I mean,
What is it?
It's a booger ball.
it's a booger ball for kids. That is what it's used for. I'm not gonna demonstrate totally, but this is great for pulling off, blowing off stuff.
It's pretty descriptive.
I think you guys got it. I don't think I need to pass this around, do I? You can find them at any Walmart or Walgreens.
We know what department to get it from.
Right.
Yeah, the baby, absolutely, absolutely. And so nice to have wipes. I usually carry a small pack of these when I'm out in the field, so. Okay, sorry. Not getting much done here, let me think. I love this dark transparency by the rock here. Again, I'm seeing a real visual line sort of coming up through here. So let's get some darks in there.
So here's a question, when you have rocks underwater, do you paint them before you paint water over it, or do you just paint the rock area differently?
I would say that I paint the rock, and I would then maybe pull a color over it really lightly to get that feeling. Trying to think in here, definitely paint it, and then if you come up, whenever we take a break, you can see I pulled a light blue over the top of it to make the ripples and the water effect.
And we can do this one as well. We'll take a break in about 10 minutes.
When I'm doing my underpainting, I try and paint in the direction the thing's going, be it, the motion in the water. I'm trying to take the paintbrush in that same direction.
Yeah.
I switch a lot. I pick up and put down pastels a lot. And I don't know if everybody does that, or that's a bad habit of mine.
Well, it's working.
You ever get stuck in one area and just like perseverate and just go over and over?
You
No,
know. Like, it's not right, let me work it just a little bit more. Yes, very definitely. I make a lot of mistakes, I mean, a lot. There's a lot of salvaging that goes on.
Those little pink school erasers that you grew up with, those are great, especially on the sanded.
Oh.
And they have an edge when you buy them.
Yeah.
So I erase, and then if you just rub them hard on a rag,
They go clean?
They're bright pink again.
Oh.
And that edge is pretty, it's nice, you can
Really go in and
really,
clean up.
just the detail.
Oh, that's a great tip.
And you can get down to bare paper pretty easy.
And it doesn't leave any remnant of the,
Unfortunately, you'll have to use your booger thing, or,
yeah,
or a little paintbrush, just to brush.
Just to brush that off?
The roly-polies away from the eraser.
Oh, yeah.
We do, the rolling boulders.
Yeah.
the roly-poly and the booger. Wow, you guys are gonna go, that's gonna be the one thing you take away from this demo, is like, oh yeah, that booger thing, that's what I got out of Sarah's demo. Yeah. Ividel, I love your term, is Ividel still here? What do you call rocks, potato rocks, when they all look the same or something? What was your phrase? Little potatoes, it's really easy to do that.
River potatoes.
After that class, Ividel, I found Ividel. Ividel, after your thing about potato rocks, I found that there's a rock in England called an agate potato. A lot of you immediately. I want to see a picture.
Same as the underpainting, often make your strokes in the same direction as the water, for me, as the water's flowing, sort of pulling that across in the direction of the water. Wow, this looks like a mess. Who hates their painting halfway through it?
Everybody. Everybody.
Man, you're just like, ugh, what's going on? It's not
They're at that awkward teenage phase.
Yeah.
I have a little quote on my wall, and it says, how does it start? This looks okay. And then it's like, ooh, this looks like, excuse my language, shit. And then it continues, I'm blowing it. I'll write it
We
to
know
you
the
guys.
quote.
You know the quote. I
We
think you
know
all
the quote.
probably know the quote. The stages of your painting, and I find with water, there's a lot of building, like we were saying layers earlier, building your darkers up to your light, your dark colors. I'm in the same family, but I'm just going lighter and lighter as I approach these areas of movement. I squint a ton, and I move around a lot. I back off my painting. I think that's very helpful for seeing.
Sarah, do you like the light that's over your left shoulder?
This one? It's bright. Is that?
But do you like
That color.
on your painting?
Oh, I try and do daylight on all my interior stuff. This one, maybe a little blue. Is that what I just?
Well, I'm just asking because, you know, putting light into a studio, just figuring out exactly what to use.
I have all daylight lights, and I have them sort of like this. They're up above me. I don't know that this works great for today, and thank you to Shelley who brought it, because I think it would be pretty dark if we didn't have it. But I like, mine are sort of above my easel, displaying so they cross, and yeah. But there's lots of articles on lighting your studio, probably worth looking up.
Sarah, whenever you want, we can take a quick break,
Okay,
like 5 minutes.
that sounds good.
Okay, just
I'll
say
drink some
when.
water,
Yep.
whenever you want to, yeah.
We'll do it.
Lots of cookies over there.
Okay.
Are there?
Why don't we, let's take a quick break and then be back in 5 minutes, please. It's 10 till now.
I also brought some other snacky over there.
Lots of
Yeah.
snacks. Eat some snacks.
Don't
Get
be
some
shy.
coffee, tea, water.
Oh, pause. Oh, good.
Okay, it's recording.
Good. Good. Nice to see you.
So I try not to smudge, but I do every once in a while. just to make an area more opaque and more solid.
Sarah, did you enhance the photo at all?
Nope.
Wow.
Actually, I might have made it a little lighter, because my rocks look a little blown out. But I was far more interested in this. Like, that's what I really wanted to capture. But you can see my rocks are pretty blown.
Great photo.
Thanks. That might be my husband who shot that. Do you remember that? It was Cheeseman, I think. I wish I was the type of artist who had their little piece of, paper next to them and they make a mark to know what color it is.
Oh, yeah.
I don't do that. So I make a lot of mistakes. I do a lot of nope, that's not right. That's not the color I wanted.
It's not a foolproof method.
What's that?
It's not a foolproof. No.
I mean, I don't know if you guys have ever seen Barbara Janicki paint, but she's just meticulous. Every pastel she picks up, she acts like that's the right color. No, that's not me. So there's no way I'll finish this today, but I will send it to you, Jeanette. What do you?
Send to Christina.
Okay. Okay.
That's my box.
How many hours do you think it takes to get something like this particular painting done?
I have what I call as a wall of marination, and I literally will take my painting and I'll put it up on my wall, and I let it sit sometimes for weeks, and then I'll say, oh, that's what's wrong with it. So to put an actual hour on it is tough, but this is an 11 by 14. This is the size I usually do for plein air. So I'd say, at least 2.5 hours outside, and then probably go home and work another, 2 or so. And then it sits, and then maybe I'll take it down and work another,
It can sit there for a month and
A lot of mine do, a lot of
they
them.
just talk quietly to you.
Just keep looking at them, going, and sometimes that you look at it at that one point, and it's like, that is what's wrong with that painting, or that's what's bothering me about it.
That's that
So-
feeling you get in between like you said, how do you like your painting in the edge? And you say you don't like it when it's in the
Oh, yeah,
middle.
the ugly stage, yeah, the teenage stage, is that what you called it, Christine? Yeah.
When is that happening here? 'Cause I don't see any
Yeah.
ugly stage.
Did you skip puberty?
I love you guys, I really love you guys.
Call that the teenage stage.
It's coming, I can see acne popping up all over the place here, so. Another thing, always repeat, if you pick up a color, make sure you have it in multiple places. Not just, don't use it in one spot, make sure it repeats itself somewhere else in the painting.
I was thinking the same.
Oh, it looks like a golf course?
Yeah.
My sand trap?
Yeah.
This is my sand trap?
Yes. Yeah.
All right, I'll put a little flag right here.
Yeah.
A lot of rocks on that golf course.
Okay.
See if I took a picture.
I'm looking at this area here, and it's like, I want this to be my focal, so I want to come in here with a color. I know I've got this, we've got this movement in here, which is definitely lighter, but my lines of, when I finish with my lighter colors, that will go in there. Sorry, that didn't make a whole lot of sense, did it? Sorry. I want this to be my focal, so I wanna come in, I'm coming in here and I wanna make this, so it's not competing with this area up here.
Do you see a channel?
I do, I'm seeing one, kind of, we have this area here through, behind this rock, and then this big flow here. I think in this one, it was so obvious and, you know, you have a very obvious line through here. So I'll probably play up, make this one a little more prevalent with time. So your visual is here going around the rocks. I'm working it. If
Go with that.
yeah, thanks, if that made sense at all.
Where you haven't done your underpainting is just is that where the,
That's where I want this big foam, kind of
Right.
this area, which, like I was saying, is the candy. Last thing to do, but it's just so fun because it pulls the whole piece sort of together, like in, you know, kind of this one, and coming in here with the lights.
but right now just as a sand trap on that golf.
I know, you guys, it's gonna bother you the whole
It's a
time
very good
because,
It won't be looking like that very long.
like I said, I don't usually, I try and keep I don't like using my thumb a lot, but sometimes I gotta.
If you don't use your thumb, what kind of sponge or what kind of thing do you use?
I try not to use my thumb a whole lot. I like a pretty crisp, painting. I'm not a real tonalist where my paintings tend to be pretty hard and hard edges. So I'll go over this and because they're that sort of darker channel layer, I'll come in at the end with some lighter colors in there. But I want that to be solid underneath. I guess is what I'm trying to say. And I don't know, you guys, I mean, I don't know if anyone has the problem of their underpainting not being dark enough. Do you guys, does anyone find that issue?
Yeah.
You know, when you start washing it out, you're using those darkest pastels, but you're washing it and it's getting lighter and lighter. So I often will go in with a really dark, kind of smear it, so I'm not using a ton of my tooth to get that really dark color that I'm looking for. Like up in here, I'm not really digging all this, so I'm just gonna kind of take some of that pastel off. And I don't want a lot of detail back here anyway, because this is in my distance. I mean, this really should fade into the background. You know, more detail in the foreground, less in the background. Uh-oh, I need to use my, see how well that works?
Sarah, do you use pencils much?
Really fine finishing stuff, tree branches.
Oh, you do?
Yeah, yep, I use Cardin Ash. I don't use them a lot, but for
Use
really,
them a little
really fine stuff, it really helps. I mean, you just can't, I know we should be using edges, but you can see I use all sides of my pastel.
Yeah.
So the pencil really helps with that
Is there a
detail.
reason you use Caran d'Ache rather than New Pastel?
And I've heard, I don't know if this is true, I heard it's not, light fast.
New Pastel isn't.
Oh, really?
We heard that at IAPS, didn't we? Yeah. So I don't really have, I don't use new pastels. But people love them. I mean, everyone I Barbara Janicki, who I was speaking about before, I think uses them all the time. And I think they're really,
Art uses it a lot.
yeah, he does. Do you use them, Xenia?
Rarely.
Yeah.
I prefer, I've replaced it with the, what's that? They're the same shape. I'm trying to remember the name. Granite color, yeah.
So I'm continuing, I'm trying to get some light back in here. Again, I'm going horizontal. I'm trying to keep that water level, sitting in the environment.
Do you use fixative at any time?
I do not. And I know that's a real, and I also use spacers, so that's probably gonna be the next question. Yeah, I do not use fixative. But I think people do really crazy things with fixative. I know people who build all those layers, you know, they put down pastels and then they come in with a fixative and paint over it again as a means of building layers.
And it does, it builds a lot of layers.
Do you use fixative then?
Well, it can be a real pain.
To use fixative?
Yep,
Because I don't use it, so help me out.
I used it and it builds up, the layers and it gets a little bit, if you move your paper around at all, it'll pop off.
Oh, that's a lot of pastel.
Oh.
Well, yeah, well, I think I would do the same thing with paint and that would be scary too. But I've had some that didn't wanna work with my paper because it was too thick with fixative.
It creates an unwanted texture too.
Sometimes,
Yeah, it's
That's what I demo a couple of months ago.
yeah.
Well, I liked it, but they didn't wanna touch it, so they were afraid it was gonna fall apart on them.
So the great thing about the South Platte, and Dennis, you probably know this, that all the rocks are that beautiful sort of orangey
orangey, tanny,
tan,
browny.
and then you get, I call this winter water. So, although that kind of looks like summer. And you're gonna know this as a fisherman. Like winter or early spring, the water I think is at its prettiest. You don't have runoff yet, so it's running clear.
So clear.
It's so clear and it's just, there's water in the stream because you've had some of the melt, but you haven't had the like dump of
Right.
the cloudy
No
water.
sediment.
So, you know, spring, it's tough to paint because your water's got so much sediment and junk in it. You're not getting these pretty clear pools. But that early spring and late fall are really lovely, yeah.
And then you get a few leaves that are nice.
Yep, getting your reflection, getting your aspen bouncing off the,
And the occasional trout visitor.
Mhm. Yeah,
So they're right there.
yeah, there's two spots where trout would be in there.
Yeah.
yeah, you can see.
Polarized glasses on.
Yeah.
That's a question, does anybody paint in sunglasses?
No.
I took a class with Terry, oh God, what's Terry's last name?
Lover,
What's that?
Ford,
Terry Ford. She paints with sunglasses.
really?
Isn't that crazy?
That is crazy.
Yeah.
What do I do if my glasses just change?
Oh, transition glasses? I know, most people wear a hat.
No, that one.
Instead of doing this. Oh, there's transition.
Do you use an umbrella?
Sometimes if I haul it in.
Yeah.
Depending on how game I'm feeling. But they are nice. But you end up fiddling with them a lot. You're like, oh, the sun's moved. I've got to move over here. I've got to do, you know, this.
The wind is the worst for an umbrella.
Yep.
But you stand in the shade usually.
If I can.
Yeah.
You know, if I found something I like that I can paint in the shade, or from the shade, I'll definitely head that way. So I always try and paint dark to light. If you go light to dark, you'll often it gets kind of cloudy, chalky. So.
Icky.
Icky. Not that I haven't done it, because I've done it for sure. I'm a slow painter, sorry guys.
Doing great, doing great.
I'm with you on that. I'd rather go slow than have to do it again.
Paint what you see, not what you think. That's a biggie too. You sort of like, this area here looks like, oh, that should be dark, but I'm getting a lot of reflection down from the rocks into this area. So this is much lighter. I'm dark with the channel coming through here, dark where it falls into the pool below here, and that kind of channel continues through here, but this is actually relatively light. So you gotta always look, right? Check and how are we doing on time? Oh,
You're doing well.
We got about 10 minutes plus we can go over if you need to or want to.
So you got 10 minutes to finish that one. So
Yeah.
oh, I'm on it. Wow, okay. Thanks guys.
Yeah, we wanna see the
Wow.
other one as well.
Yeah.
Oh, no pressure. I will finish these. And send them to Christine, so
Okay.
you can see. So in this area, I keep going lighter and lighter coming into this, kind of staying in a similar family. And even here, I'll go even a shade lighter. I'm gonna try and save this area and this area for, like I said, candy at the end. And I do this a lot. I've probably noticed I take my pastel and I'm like, I want a shade later. So I take it to my box and just hold it up next to it because I'm not good at guessing.
Any tips that, if you don't get to it, which you probably won't, but any tips that you have for putting those little white ripply things on the surface?
So I'll go pretty heavy in this area, but a really light touch. Use the side of yours, just gently put those in. I don't know if you guys had a chance to come up and look at this one. There's just very light lines, a little heavier on this one, but just very, yeah, just kind of just drag your pastel sort of lightly across it. So hopefully we're getting a feeling of this is a channel coming through, or is it still looking like a golf course? So again, in this area, this is, yeah, I've got a shadow, but it's not nearly that harsh. So I'm gonna come in here and build the color, again, going darker to lighter, coming out of the shadow where it meets the light. See how messy I am working? It's very messy.
Terrible.
Jeanette, you're really clean, because we've painted together, and I'm like spread out everywhere. Takes me an hour to repack, and Jeanette's like, okay, I'm ready, I'm good.
You look
Ready to
pretty
go.
tidy. You're looking tidy there.
That's yummy, Sarah.
Is that working, kind of
Yeah,
making
yeah.
that go
Oh,
into that transition of into?
I'm starting to float.
Are you?
Yeah.
You don't have to go to the bathroom, do you?
No. Just looking at your pictures.
Okay. See, this is the trouble getting out too many pastels, and I'm like, where's that one? Because I want just a shade lighter than this to pull that over.
Ludwig doesn't have a water set, do they?
Not that I know of.
There you go, an idea for somebody.
They have the new wetlands.
Yeah, so,
I saw that.
I think, Liz,
Um,
Liz has a water skies set.
Ludwig.
That makes sense. It's expensive.
Do you guys want me just to put the white in here, just so
Yeah.
you can see it?
Yeah.
In contrast, let me put a little dark up in this area, so we got contrast of these falls coming down. So I'd come in, say that like white, I'm almost in a yellowy, kind of colors. Because I want to have that line, those lines of disturbance on top. So I'm just gonna drag some of these colors over here, because we got movement, just lightly making those happen.
I love the term lines of disturbance.
It's what it is, right? I mean, they're
I could stand in any line of disturbance and fit really right in.
So Sarah, you don't layer that much, do you? It looks like you're just picking the right color every time. You just-
Oh, wow, thanks, Jeanette. I'm not sure if that's right, but.
But you're not.
So is that
building-
starting to reach you guys to the moon?
Yeah.
You see how that changes, so it starts to move? You just have to look at this area, don't look at the rest of
No,
the
that's
thing.
true.
It actually-
Lines make a huge difference.
Isn't that, it's a huge difference. I mean, it really makes that, the motion of the water really.
also that
Yep.
you get.
Yeah, like I said, the layers, the bottom, the surface, and then those,
Yeah.
the top, where the action's happening.
No more sand pit there,
Good, I'm glad I got rid of that.
whatever they're called.
That's sand trap. Okay, so, I don't, is that good? You guys want more, or?
Yeah, keep going.
Keep going? Okay.
Look at all
If
day.
you want me to,
Yes.
Yes.
Just a little bit more, Sarah.
So I'm seeing a lot of like ripples in here. So I'm gonna come in and put some yellow. And I really would save this hopefully for last, but, because you guys are special.
We want the demo on these.
We paid extra for this.
You paid
Sarah.
extra. So hopefully that's, you're starting to get some
Movement.
movement in it. Is it,
Mhm.
I'm kind of on top of it, so it's a little hard. And sometimes you'll get sort of darker darker little pools within those lights. Sort of the well of the ripple, I guess is what I'd call it.
Where it's starting to eddy and so there's some.
This is what I'm trying to do in here. Can you see that that's, hopefully that's working. I don't want to get too carried away. Okay, that's good. I love these really dark pools. It's not dark enough. In front of a rock where your fish would be
That's where the trout are, yeah.
would be hanging out.
Till you get there. Pull them out of there.
Is there a painting of fish playing poker? Down under there?
I don't know, there should be, right? So the rocks underwater still have form. They're not just flat. And it wouldn't be this hard of a, you'd have water breaking up that form too, going over, especially because this is in an area of movement. Okay, I need to stop and do a good painting for you guys. Thanks for being tolerant and patient and such. Hopefully you guys will paint water.
Yeah.